As for myself, apart from, I came to know of retreats only after I was 48. I've never known about retreats before, because it's only going to temples once a while and doing some pujas at home and having a nice feast afterwards. That's all I knew before. But this has really opened the eye, and this present retreat has been has thrown open so many things to me, and I'm still digesting. It's just wonderful. So people have to become aware of this, and they should know that they are all stuck, and then make an endeavor to attend, to brighten their lives.
But I posed a question. My question was, if people are not understanding anything, then how are they able to sit in a retreat for 7 days or 10 days or 15 days? What is that power or what is that illusion which is making them sit day after day after day if they're not understanding? I posed a very vexing question. Thank you.
Personally, I don't know how they could sit there for 15 days and not get anything out of it. Personally, I can't understand it because I was fidgety enough sitting for 15 days. However, I can fathom that there's so much discontent, especially in folks of my age group, where they've chased these materialistic things and they're looking for something to squash that uneasiness that's at the very crux of who they are. And you've got to be willing to do the work, because at the end of the day, if you don't, all right, you were here for 10, 15 days, everything was blissful. Guess what? You get on the plane, it's all going to start all over again, so you'll be back. So that's just my take.
I'm suggesting that you can attend a retreat, let us say, on Kundalini Yoga. Let's take something very esoteric and something mysterious, which you're not supposed to understand. Now they're teaching a lot about the chakras, about the nadis and everything. What makes you sit there? Because you have a belief system inside you that this is the truth. And if I practice, go on practicing, then this will become my truth. So that strong belief and that strong desire for fulfillment makes you sit there. Not because you understood anything, not because you asked questions, not because you made an attempt to even understand, none of those things. And I bring your attention to something entirely different. Look at human history, look at the humanity, the arts, painting, and then music, and then the sciences, physics, chemistry, medicine, and then law. Then everywhere, in every one of these disciplines, engineering, in business administration, did you go through a thing called understanding in accounting? Or you got that knowledge or expertise, whatever you got, without understanding, not having any place in your learning at all?
No, you have to.
You have to understand. Right. Now comes the conundrum for you. How come that when you come to religion alone, you never make an attempt to understand anything?
That's because those are all concerned with bread and butter concerns.
So you're prepared to question, you're prepared to understand. And this is supposed to be eternally, forever and forever beyond you, that the questioning never begins? Is that the reason? Oh my God. That's very sad. Just this one discipline, religion and the spiritual life, completely blank, not a single question. Everywhere else, it's knowledge intensive, it's learning intensive. And your religious life and your spiritual life alone is as vague as thin air.
I would also say such thing. Unlike the retreats that you have conducted, where you are forcing us to ask questions, they just don't want to take questions. So you sit there expecting something will come, and then nothing comes. After 7 days or 10 days, you just get back. And next time you don't go to such retreats, you go to some other retreat where you hope you will get something more. And nothing you get there too. But here, because you're insisting on questioning, but it takes some time, a day or so, for the participants to soak into, and then they start off. Then it's spontaneous. Then they have their problems coming out, and it's not you answering. There's so many participants who are answering, so it's just so wonderful.
Let me add something to that.
That is how it should be.
Even in this retreat, recently concluded retreat, we saw a few new participants who came to the retreat, and for the first 2 to 3 days, they were completely skeptical. That the way they were asking questions or they were making comments is that I don't think I'm going to get anything out of this. This is how they commented for the first 2 to 3 days, and then because of constant teachings that you are giving and the group discussions that were taking place, and they were also watching others how they were learning, and this was a very, very serious retreat, starting at 9 and ending at 6:30 in the evening. Very serious retreat. There are no jokes cracked during the retreat. Very serious, and all the time it is inward looking. So after 2 to 3 days, they started understanding that certainly there is some learning here, and they were able to look inwards too.
And also it helped because you are not an authority there, you are a friend. So it helps people to open out. So that's a wonderful thing.
The questions that we had were compassionately addressed by you and sometimes by each other. There was learning by those that were skeptical for several days. There was learning by simply watching and observing others open up in an honest and sometimes emotional way. But there was a safety within the group of knowing that we're not in this alone. We're on this journey together. While the self-discovery is truly an inward study, we are not in this alone. And so, we've built bonds these last 10 days where we can ask each other, reach out to each other. But the whole atmosphere of the retreat that started with you, our teacher, was that of compassion and humor amid serious study. So I know I speak on behalf of those that are in this room as well as those who have already gone home, that we thank you very much for your approach, your diligence in your study that has led you to be able to lead these retreats, your compassion, your humor, and it's been a door that has allowed us to walk through a little bit more gracefully and on firmer footing in our self-awareness.
Yeah, thank you, Lord. But I want to just go back one fleeting moment to Kananji's vexing question about the cult. Now you see, there are 3 masters who have given a very powerful Advaitic teaching. Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta Maharaj and Krishnamurti, 3 masters. And they are like the Upanishadic sages. They taught the eternal truth, and Krishnamurti has brought something completely new, which is not even in the Upanishads. It's about self-knowing. And the master has a personal life. The master has likes and dislikes. You know that from his personal life. And then the master has given a teaching. And the teaching is of universal applicability. Krishnamurti always used to say, use the speaker as a mirror in which to see yourself. And once you've done that, throw away the mirror, break the mirror. That mirror is insignificant. The mirror is, don't put the mirror on an altar and worship that mirror. Because that truth came to you through some human being who is going to be a vanishing human form in 10 or 20 or some time frame. So the cult thing, the Buddha was a founder of his thing. And I am saying that I see myself as not a founder, but a compiler. Like Vyasa is a compiler. He brought all the truths together. If there are 4 or 5 big truths, like even Panini's grammar, my Sanskrit teacher told me that Panini, whose fame is worldwide, he brought all the strands of grammar which was available in the length and breadth of Bharat, the subcontinent, and he fitted it into a unified framework. So he was a synthesizer and a compiler. Vyasa did that. And I am compiling. I have compiled because I have understood the whole thing. And I say that understanding is the key, not an experience. And the reason why I belabor that point is, in the sciences, behind the great work in the sciences, all the Nobel laureates and their lifetime work, what is it if it's not understanding? Is there anything else, Maggie? No. Whether it's in medicine or engineering, or whether it is in information technology, or in business administration, or in any other sciences, is it not just understanding the truth? Yeah. So how can it be different in religion? How come we miss this important thing? You never understand anything. Everything is vague for you. And you're not supposed to question your guru. You're not supposed to question your masters. What's all this craziness? So understanding is the way. That's Amanaska Yoga. The path, not the path of knowledge, is the path of understanding. And this is unique. Amanaska Yoga for Kumar is different from Amanaska Yoga for Maggie, is different for Prema, is different for Lemore, is different for everybody. So everybody has to build it. Now I built the road on which I walked. And I'm telling you, every one of you is a potential philosopher, is a Tat-Tvam-Asi. What does it mean? That is, you will have a view of that eternal truth or that light, because you are that light. And your view will be different from my view, because no two Upanishads agree. So each Upanishadic seer is a Tat-Tvam-Asi. That is, he has an understanding and a revelation of that eternal light as to what that light is and who you are. So you got to arrive at this yourself. So after listening to this, you must go away building your own path. And you can use this as a platform from which you take off and then build yourself true to your heart at every stage. If something doesn't fit you, throw it away. I've done it all through my life. I started my life as an atheist. I don't want to tell that story here because it can be a very disturbing story. I started my life as an atheist. And today, at 68, I am a slave of the divine. Slave. I'm not a devotee. I'm a slave. Because slavery is possible only in love, not in any other thing. Only in love you can be a slave. And this whole thing is a mandate given to me by the divine. That's it.
So, if none of you have other questions, I think most of the questions have been answered. So, we wind up this discussion today. Thank you very much to have raised so many questions, and thank Sankara for answering all those questions very patiently. Thank you.
I thank all of you very much.